Welcome back to the ASL round of 32 Group E. These two players playing for second place in this lovely group in the bottom spawn position. The green Zerg representing my insanity. It is PengWin.
And he's going to be playing against the player who knocked him down to the bottom bracket, the pink Terran, also playing for my insanity, Smile. Now, last time they met, just a few short minutes ago, it was a 2-0 in favor of Smile. But in both games, he managed to secure a fairly large advantage, either by holding off a push from PengWin or by really successfully executing a Hellion run by in the second game. And I'm really curious to see how the game will play out if he doesn't secure that advantage versus PengWin, because as we were talking about earlier, PengWin said the only player in this group he was really worried about is Demolove, and now Demolove he's out of the group in the top sense.
In the the first thing.
Yeah, in first place.
The big man.
The only player standing in the way of PengWin following him out in second place to round of 16 is Smile.
Yeah, definitely. Smile showing in the first game, or in the games at least first, PengWin going 2-0, playing quite aggressively. And it'll really be key here, I think, definitely whether the run buys will happen, like you were saying, but also the other way around. Will PengWin get those run buys in? Because in the very first game, Smile literally never raised his supply depots. Now that run buy obviously didn't do a lot. It was almost a botched all-in, I want to say. But, I mean, Smile, definitely, there may be an opening for PengWin here to do some quick ling rushes, or maybe not ling rushes, but just quick into the main, into the natural.
Perhaps. I definitely feel like the maps favor PengWin a little more this time. There's no Inferno pools, I don't think. I was sent all the maps, but I didn't see all of them.
I was not.
Research Station, though, was the second map, and he was looking pretty good right up until some Hellions came in and roasted, I think, like 24 or 25 drones, and that's always going to put you in a very difficult position, no matter who you are.
Yeah, most definitely putting you in a difficult position. Smile going back up into the main with the Reaper was almost killed the first time. There's no speed for PengWin here, though, so Smile trying to dance around these lings, which he should be able to for right now. Trying to get the scouting information. He has not actually scouted the main or the natural, though, so I'm a little bit worried about Smile for him. I mean, you can kind of assume the natural's gone down, but still he did not have any scout at all.
Well, he should be able to tell the naturals there just by sort of the gas and pool timings and how many drones there are. Just basically everything looks like a normal natural timing. I don't think there's anything he sees there. I mean, if the Zerg was going one base, there will be a Roach Ron there or a Baneling Nest there, or indeed, something knocking down his wall at this stage. So the fact that none of those things are there, I think it's a pretty safe assumption to see that natural, even without actually having gone down the ramp and seen it there.
Yeah, but I still feel like you may want to look for the gas timings. I mean, he still may be able to do that fine, but I still feel like that's something kind of you want to worry about. But from Smile, we will see, as he's done every single game, doing those pumping those Hellions out, and now starting to get the Marines out, getting the starport up. I'm guessing going to go into Cloak Banshee once more. I mean, if it works, why not do it again? And it seems like it's worked versus PengWin quite well. As you were saying, though, maps a lot differently, though. Or a lot different for now. PengWin right now, just droning up. Now, obviously, in the first games, we didn't really see him go for a third, or at least he did go for a third, but never quite secured it. Now, I'm curious, at least in this position, going for that third, how he's going to hold it, because he does not, right now at least, he's not going up to layer yet. He will be getting a Roach Warren, though, so it'll be interesting how he's going to hold these Banshees that are going to come, or this drop.
Yeah, it is, and actually I think we're going to see a similar sort of push that Smile used against Demolove on Overgrowth, with the Medevac coming out and an armory coming in. The Medevac's going to pick up a bunch of Marines, boost them over the map as quickly as possible until they meet up with the 6 Hellions that will be there at that time, and Morston's Hellbats. And it's going to be a little tough for PengWin to keep hold of his third base, especially. Roaches are coming out, though, which will deal with it. Okay. If he can pick off these Hellions before they morph into Hellbats, that'll be a big win.
Definitely. I really like this for PengWin. He knows he can't actually engage the Hellions, but trying to get a concave at the top of this ramp. Roach is moving down. I should be a little bit worried for these cutting of these Roaches. They want to stay back. They want these Lings to actually just be able to get around those Hellions and push them and hold them in. But right now, these 4 Roaches being pretty gutsy, moving out. Now the Hellbats have been morphed right now. 4 more Roaches on the way. 1 Banshee on the way for Smile, but won't be there anywhere in time. Medevac is in, though. The Marines working on these Overlords quite well. This is going to supply block PengWin quite heavily, only making 1 more Overlord. 20 Lings coming out, but he is very heavily supply blocked right now. It's going to definitely is not going to be able to hold this 3rd of his, and this is going to be a trick to hold this natural at least. This looks like a very strong force.
Yeah, PengWin a little bit in panic mode when he saw that coming. But good surround with the Lings, but they get roasted away almost immediately by the Hellbats. The Roaches try and come in and do what they can, but with the healing threat of Medevac, the Hellbats are just so tanky and pushes the Roaches back without too much effort. And they can kite against these Hellbats quite well, but I mean, 3 Roaches against 4 Hellbats, especially with the Medevac to boost them over, it's not going to be too tough for Smile to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, I think really PengWin should have put up at least 1 spine crawler at the top of this ramp just to be able to do something. Now, these drones are getting transferred. Interesting decision right there.
Oh my god!
At first I thought they were being pulled to actually attack, but they're not. They're just kind of being moved around, but this Banshee will engage. There's only a Queen actually at the natural right now, so no anti-air except for that 1 Spore Crawler. Actually take that back. And off the back of this, Smile getting double engineering bay, getting his barracks up like he's played every single game, doing a 1 factory push into 3 to 4 barracks, 3 to 4 barracks with reactors. So it's definitely, at least if this doesn't work, which it looks like it's done a lot of damage. No workers killed, but it's just really delayed PengWin, and he should be going into a very strong mid game for Smile.
Wow, yeah, barely any workers killed there, but yeah, I mean, it took out the 3rd base and it forced a lot of units out of PengWin. PengWin made kind of panic made 20 Lings as soon as he saw those Hellbats starting in. So I don't think he really expected this coming out at all, because he didn't really do that much against it, and then it kind of hit him. Now he's trying to go into what has become a bit more of a 2-base Spire, but trying to take the expansion at the same time, and it all looks a little bit messed up for PengWin. Like a lot of his stuff has been disrupted a little bit, whereas Smile, everything seems to be going a bit more according to plan for him. His upgrades are coming in. He's transitioning onto his regular army. His 3rd base is done. He just needs to float it out, and he's still got that Banshee to do damage with.
Yeah, definitely, and I'd like to say this game at least really looks like the very first game, denying that 3rd for PengWin, almost the exact same thing that happened in the first game. And from PengWin at least, going into Spire again. Now, obviously this is pretty good to defend off the Banshees, but I'd love to see him try something just a little bit different, maybe going to Hydralisks, because of the very heavy Marine composition. I don't know if Hydralisks would be the best for that, but definitely I feel like switching it up a little bit. I don't know if Muta's worked too well for him in the first games.
Yeah, I'm not sure of it. If it's not something he's prepared, Roach Hydra style, I don't think it's good to just go into something, especially in a competitive environment like the ASL, to just go into something which you're not practiced in, even though it may be a better option in the circumstances. Right now, though, I think PengWin's, he's a bit more comfortable in Lingbane Muta, and I think he's just going to continue on with that.
Yeah, I wasn't. If he hadn't have done it, I wasn't saying that. But I was saying I think it might be wise to try something a little bit different, because at least we have seen the past 2 games, Smile's pushes work really well for him. We do actually have combat shields coming down for Smile, which he has not gotten previous game. He actually went for Stim first, so I don't know if he's worried about getting pushed back. But I don't really think that at all, actually. I think he's in a great position. Just interesting choice by him. PengWin does spot, or actually no, he does not spot this coming over. He will spot this on creep right now. Pushing out Lings, 5 Mutas, a lot of Banelings coming up, actually 15 Banelings. Lings will try to engage Queen, will be sniped by these nicely split so far Terran Marines. They're already actually preemptively splitting, but I mean, there's just so many Banelings right here, but there's no Baneling speed though, so they'll be a little bit in a bad position. Oh, engaging right now. Oh, a little bit too many Banelings actually died in the very first attack, I think, for PengWin, but he is still pushing this back pretty well. Actually, I don't know what they're called, the Broodlings, or what are they called from a hat when you build guys?
Yeah.
They're Broodlings for the building? Alright. Broodlings actually push back the little hatch, the little amount of Marines on the left-hand side. Ling's not doing that much, though, just because it's only Marauders left. Pretty much only Marauders. GG can't play this server. Smile takes game 1.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the KR server this time, and hopefully having his play a little bit improved by playing on what is currently his home server is that green Zerg down the bottom left-hand corner. He's still 1 game away, though, from elimination, and 2 away from advancing onwards. It's the captain of my insanity, PengWin.
And as we've talked about a little bit about PengWin, at least, he is in the My Insanity Gaming House, quote-unquote, Rain's house, but right now being in Korea for a nice day. But his opponent, who is not in Korea right now, in the top right-hand corner, representing the Pink Terran race, we have Smile. Said Terran, and then kind of just, what's going on with my vowels here?
Yes.
Tyrannus. I mean, maybe I was going for Tyrannus, but I don't say his name enough out loud, so we will have to see. PengWin going for, I think actually Hatch before Pool, so nothing too crazy, but still being a little bit gutsy, but I also feel like definitely from Smile, we've literally seen the exact same strategy out of him in every single game.
Yeah, pretty much. Only a little bit of variation. I believe there was one map, or a couple maps where he's decided not to mix in that the armory, and actually sometimes he's varied what he's producing the starport a little bit. Sometimes he goes straight for that Banshee and Cloak. Sometimes he goes for the Marines and pushes out with the sometimes he goes to the medevac from the starport and pushes out with the Marines in it and Morton's Hellbat. So I feel like it's quite a versatile opening from Smile that diversifies into a couple different aggressive options later on. And the trick for PengWin will be to decide which one he's facing, what the appropriate response is.
Yeah, I feel like totally there's a lot of variance on Smile's build, but it definitely surrounds the biomech composition, which he really likes, and I really, really like out of Terran. We'll see, just barely not sniped that one drone right there. Sporecrawler actually decides to go down, which isn't too bad of an idea versus Smile so far, but we'll have to see how that works out. Speed only now starting, so these Lings have a little bit of a hard time catching up with his Reaper, but Queen should be able to push it back quite fine. And out of Smile, same thing again, thrown on that factory. It's going to switch it with the barracks and pump out a few Hellions, get some early aggression in. Now, I'm just curious, Trigonal, do you think PengWin might go for an early third? I know on this map, not the best idea, but I've seen sometimes, it's normally already happened, as if a Zerg does it, but I've seen sometimes some pretty early thirds on this map.
Yeah, well, I think if he's going to go for, like, the normal third timing is just about as speed finishes. So if he doesn't throw his lair down pretty soon, which he does, actually, I would have expected it to start out as speed finish, but with that lair timing, it's a little bit faster. I don't think we're going to see at third for a little while. In fact, I think PengWin is going to go for a 2-base Mutalisk play, and that works out pretty well for Demi Love on this map in these exact same positions. Though, of course, I think the main reason for that was less the 2-base Mutalisk play and more the excellent holding off of Smile's aggression. So we'll see whether PengWin can match that, I think, will be the bigger deciding factor.
PengWin does have an Overlord near Demi Love's Overlord, that position, though, so maybe we'll see something happen there. Definitely with Demi Love versus Smile. Just sitting under an Overlord for too long does not work out too well for you when you're trying to have a surprise attack. From Smile, actually getting up a bunker, he normally has got this bunker, but he's gotten the Marines in a little bit later, so he has gotten these Marines in pretty quickly, definitely. Right now, PengWin losing game 1, so definitely Smile's thinking of, okay, what type of all-in, maybe some really early aggression is going to hit me because of that pressure of needing to win this game.
I mean, maybe. The bunker at the front is pretty much the most standard TVZ it gets as well. It just denies.
He got it earlier, though.
Stops
he got it earlier than normal.
Did he? Okay.
In the past games, he had to wait a while to get any Marines in it. Or actually, he got his Marines earlier than normal. In the past games, he had to wait maybe a minute and a half to put those Marines in, and he had the Marines already ready.
Okay. Either way, we do see Smile moving across the map. His armory, I believe, has. Oh no, there's no armory actually. I lied. I thought. Oh, there it is. I thought someone. Oh my God, PengWin's actually going to catch these. Hellions. They do get away. That was pretty close. I think a slightly better link control PengWin could have got us around on all those Hellions, and picking off would have been really, really great, big. But just taking them down to the low health they're on already is really, really nice for him, because Smile looks like he's going to be pushing forward with more sort of a Hellbat Banshee focus sort of timing, but having the Hellbats on slightly lower health, because of course that lower health carries over when they get their transformation, makes them so much easier to clean up just with a couple fewer Baneling hits or a couple fewer Ling hits as well. It's really, really nice. No detection though for PengWin. He's going to morph in. Oh, Overseer's just finished now, but a Queen doesn't beat a Banshee. Especially not if there's Hellbats planning way.
6 mutas though on the way, just actually finishing right now, popping out at the perfect time. Really don't want to pick out this Banshee right now, but some nice Baneling detonations actually take out almost the majority of these Hellions, and what it looks like we saw from Demi Love comes out of PengWin in this position, and just kind of crushes the very first attack. But on the back of this, we do see from Smile pumping out Thors and Vikings, which he did not do versus Demi Love, but I think it's a very, very good idea. And off the back of this, though, PengWin is going for Baneling speed, so trying to go in for some pretty heavy aggression very, very soon, but still actually macroing up for a little while.
Yeah, well, Smile really needs answer to those Mutalisks, which is why we see the Vikings and Thors coming out, because he's had 2 Marines out of his barracks, and then the rest of the game is spent basically building add-ons, reactors and factories from his, reactors and tech labs for his Starborn factory. And obviously this leaves him very, very weak in the anti-air department. So those Thors and the Vikings kind of patch up those holes a little bit. However, PengWin actually hasn't been moving across the map with me, just keeping them at home for more defensive purposes, which means that Smile's fairly significant investments into the Thors and Vikings aren't really going to pay off much just yet.
Yeah, and I'm also very curious. In previous games, Smile has gone for 5 or 6 barracks, but this game is going for 3 factories and only 1 barracks, and actually going for a 3rd right now. So I'm as we were saying earlier, there's definitely a lot of variance he can do, but he's got a 3rd base and a 4th base on the way, and so I'm curious how greedy he can be, even though he may not be greedy yet. But definitely, how greedy will he be able to be with this production only finishing now and only 1 barracks? In the previous games, we've really seen him blossom with that heavy bio mech play, which now the bio is just kind of non-existent of.
Yeah, throwing down the 2nd armory. I mean, if you cut the bio out of bio mech, what are you left with?
Mech.
Mech, indeed.
Hey, I win.
And
I win.
yeah, I think that was what we're going to see coming out of Smile here with the mech upgrades on the way, 2nd armory and such. And Infestation Pit out of PengWin is going to give him a couple of options to deal with this. He is starting ranged upgrades as well, so really, really good read by PengWin. He's seen what he needs to know, and yeah, we're going to see. Yep, there's the Enduring Locust, so he can. Overgrowth is a great map for Swarm Hosts. It's pretty decent for mech, but this map layouts that make Storm Host good are quite similar to map layouts that make mech good. The ability to take a forward base and pressure, siege forwards, pressure multiple points, and basically have a base where you can defend while simultaneously denying an opponent's base is really, really good. And for Swarm Hosts, generally that's sort of the goal base. If they push out a little further forwards from that, the Swarm Hosts can hit the this base with the Lings on it right here and the opponent's gold base. And I imagine that's what we're going to see PengWin doing a little bit later on, when he actually has Swarm Hosts hitting the field in force. So.
Now, I kind of feel like Smile went into, maybe he planned on going to mech the whole time, but I feel like it was a little bit of reactiveness, and he might have overcommitted to mech, because he's pumped out 3 Thors, and is not pumping out any more now, but I mean, there's only 9 or 10 Mutalisks here, and for a very long time he was quite blind about the Mutalisk count, so he's definitely, I think maybe might have overreacted a little bit on his anti-air, but he may have planned to go into mech on the whole time, but I definitely think he could only have, either doing the 4 Vikings or only 2 Thors would have been fine in this position.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think PengWin may have scared him a little bit with the fast Spire play, and now PengWin's got 5 Storm Hosts on the way, 5 already out on the map, and Smile is looking pretty low in his tank count. There's 3 out, and Thors are currently some of the worst units in the game versus Locusts, because they don't have the splash damage, they don't really have the excessively long range of Tempests to kite them back, and they just kind of pop Locusts one by one every 1.28 seconds, and then occasionally die to the Locusts. And Locusts are, of course, free. Now it's a bit of a different matter in the test map that Blizzard are currently looking at for Chaining Storm Hosts, but we're not in that. We're at the regular old maps, and PengWin is starting to get in a position where he can siege up Smile's natural third base and the ramp into both of them. Smile's
Most
actually
definitely.
moving out.
Yeah, most definitely. The 9 Locusts will meet the moving out army. Tanks are not sieged. Oh, they won't actually pick off that 1 tank, but they will pick off 2, maybe 3 Hellbats. 3, barely, not 3. The Swarmos will have to move back, which, if there was bio with this army, they'd have an amazing position to stim forward, but there is not for right now. Only a few Marines. Hellbats desperately trying to follow them, but the mech is just as slow as the Swarm hosts retreating, so it doesn't look like we'll see that. And even if they were able to catch up to them, there's a small amount of Lings. There's 24 Lings that would be able to clean up that small army. And I feel like right now PengWin definitely has a really good position. Seeing what Smile has, now Smile has a nice army, but it may not work. But those Locusts going to the left, not exactly what he wants. Smile actually cutting around to the right-hand side and may be able to snipe this 4th base.
Yeah, absolutely. PengWin sent his Swarm host off, or his Locust off into completely the wrong direction there, and this may well give Smile the opportunity he needs. It certainly gives him the opportunity to siege up and get a position to take out this 4th base, and the incredible DPS with the Thors is going to burst that down immediately. And now with the Locusts coming in, the tanks can do good work on them and clear most of them up before they really get to the Thors, taking a little bit of health off the Thor, but that's not really enough. PengWin does have a second wave of Locusts he can send in now, and that's going to make it more difficult for Smile to continue advancing forwards, but he's already taken out a base, which is a very nice pickoff.
Yeah, most definitely. I love that preemptive scan just to see those Locusts before they come down the ramp, getting a lot of damage done. Mutalisks engaging with these Vikings, but actually deciding to pull back now. There's so many Swarm hosts right here. I feel like there needs to be an Overlord Overseer on this ramp, but it looks like Smile will actually pull back, and these Locusts will meet nothing. And on the back of this, Smile pumping out 11 Hellions, so good. Will be really good against this composition. On the back of this, right now, PengWin pretty much dedicating into Mutalisk Swarm host, which, you know what, I think that's a good composition, but yeah. I feel like definitely the Swarm hosts need maybe something just a little bit more defensive, and actually getting a great position on these Thors. They may actually snipe them all out. That's exactly what PengWin needs in this position.
Yeah, with those Thors gone, there's very little to threaten the Mutalisk. He's not going to get many of them though, just the one, and that's not quite. If he had 2, he could maybe start looking at seriously magic boxing this army. With 3, I feel like there's a little bit too much Thor damage currently for 21 Mutalisks to be able to deal with. And Smile's being a little bit mobile. He's got his tanks sieged up again, and PengWin needs to try and make something happen, because ideally this is the sort of thing that PengWin wants to be happening on Smile's side of the map, and as it is, Smile is actually making it happen on PengWin. He's making the Locust kind of stay at home defensively rather than being able to push out and force Smile to be stacking units in favor of losing economy and all those sort of slightly suboptimal trades that Swarm Host can force you into.
Most definitely. Smile taking a 4th base off the back of this, a nice Planetary Fortress macro base and a very large Ling run by. And I was going to say, I feel like for mech and the Swarm host, I mean, essentially you want to be engaging in your opponent's main, and if you can, in your opponent's territory, if you can do that, you're in an amazing position. Ling's getting actually a really nice surround on a lot of SCVs, will also take out the missile turret. That is 15 Lings dead so far, but 10 Lings dead for Smile, so not too big of a supply difference. The army of Smile will be moving in. Hellions moving in first, which, an interesting idea, trying to take out these Locusts preemptively. Mutalisks moving in, taking out all the Vikings. There's 3 Thors right now, and it would be amazing if there would be a counterattack onto the back of this mech army, but it doesn't look like we'll see it happen. The Lings were killed, but these Mutalisks are just too many. They will take out that other Thor. And right now, I'd love to see, he actually remaxing on 8 Swarm hosts. I would say I'd love to see, out of his 1,700 minerals, like 100 Lings come out and just flank this army.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he needs to remax on the Swarm host though, because he lost every single one in that engagement. And Smile's going to trade off. I don't think he's going to get this base. He will eventually lose everything from Mutalisks, but I mean, PengWin did win the engagement, but he lost a lot of Mutalisks and a lot of Swarm hosts doing so. So that was a very, very expensive engagement for him. Of course, mech is pretty slow to remax as well. But at the same time, like, ideally you want to be as like using your big bank, big remax potential to overwhelm mech and come in with. If PengWin was at 200 supply of just Mutalisks now, he could come in, magic box those, magic box the Thors, magic box the rest as they came out, and start really putting the hurt on Smile. But as it is, he's remaxed on Storm Host, which I think is a pretty good choice as well, because Smile, fearing that strong Mutalist remax, has put in a lot of Thors, and as we mentioned before, they're really not very good on Storm Host.
Yeah, definitely. Smile's also pumping out a lot more Vikings. I feel like there's a little bit of an overcommitment here because you can get the Vikings, but they're just not too good versus Mutalisks. And definitely with the Thors, just 8 Thors right there, that should be able to destroy the Mutalisks, but they're not going to be fast enough. Right now, PengWin, or Smile, knows exactly where this army is of PengWin here. PengWin, I feel like what I was saying is I'd love to see a large amount of Blings come out and then just attack this third. But it's not what we're seeing. We're actually seeing the Locust sieging up, so this is great for PengWin right here. Exactly what he wants. But right now, Smile engaging on PengWin's turf, like we were saying before, really ideally for mech, for any siege army, you want to be siege at your opponent's base, not your own. So kind of forcing PengWin to pull back to actually defend this. But there is a couple, actually only 2 Stormhosts, but there was.
2 Stormhosts, I don't see any. Say the Thors completely ripping them apart. And now PengWin has a big Stormhost army. It's coming back to reinforce, but there's a lot of Thors here, and they can just kind of like one-shot the base down and then run away, I feel. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They can't actually run from the Stormhost on the creep, so if PengWin micros these near, he could pick off 1 or 2 of these Thors. But now the Locust wave is pretty damn near expired. And Smiles swung around into the 4th base of PengWin. He's going to snipe this one down as well. How many volleys does it take? 3? 4? He'll take 4 volleys.
He doesn't even kill it. One lone Thor. It will one-shot it right there. Now, PengWin is a nice position on here, but no creep, so these Locusts will be a little bit slow. I was going to say, I'd love to see a couple medevacs with this army of Smile just to gradually pull units back or pull injured Thors back. Doesn't look like we'll see this, though. Smile kind of being pushed back into the dead 4th of PengWin. I'd love to see some ground unit cut these Thors off, but it doesn't look like we'll see that. And actually, right by the main or Nathro of Smile, a little bit of a run by, but it will be pushed back. And also Raven's coming out for Smile. So I'm really liking what he's kind of transitioning to, but I wish he would maybe throw a couple medevacs with this Thor army just to micro it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty big army of Thors. A lot of them have gone down, though. PengWin trading his bases as efficiently for, or making sure that Smile's trades for bases are as inefficient as possible. But really, PengWin doesn't want to be trading for bases. PengWin wants to be trading for Locusts, which are, of course, free, or at least only cooldown based. They're only an opportunity cost having them in one place as opposed to having them in another. And Smile he's now got a decent siege tank capped up. He's still possibly a little low on the anti-air, but the Ravens make an excellent addition to that. The point defense drones and Seeker missiles are very, very scary for Mutalisks. Very, very scary for basically any kind of mass there. And siege tanks siege up, and they're gonna kill off these Swarmhosts pretty damn fast once these Locusts taken care of, and they are. The Mutalisks, though, are going to come in. They're going to try and magic block this door, and they're going to get it down pretty quickly. But it's not enough. GG, and Smile manages to PengWin for a second time to follow Demilove out of this group in 2nd place.